Patricia, and welcome to another vintage recipe. This time again from Cross Creek Cookery from 1942. We are going to make sweet potato pone. It is a southern dessert recipe that uses fresh grated sweet potatoes and just a few other ingredients. It's really quick to make, and I hope it makes it to your Thanksgiving table. Let's get into the ingredients. All right, so let's get into our very simple ingredients for this sweet potato pone. First, we have 2.5 cups of sweet potatoes. So these are, I used about 2 of about this kind of medium-sized sweet potato. I just peeled it. I peeled it first, and then I used a box grater. I used the small hole side, and then it only took about 7 to 10 minutes to grate these. You can also use a KitchenAid attachment to grate these faster, or a food processor. I want to do it the old way since this is an old recipe, but either way works. So we have these are raw, they are not boiled or cooked. Then we have 2 beaten eggs. I just used a little whisk to beat these up a bit. We have a cup of molasses. Now, I didn't quite have a cup, so I put a tablespoon or 2 of pure maple syrup to make up for that. So it's going to be slightly different, but still delicious. And then we have 2 cups of whole milk, 1 teaspoon of ground ginger. You can also use the same amount of some orange rind if you want, but I thought I would choose this flavor. And then later on in the baking, we're gonna sprinkle on this brown sugar and cinnamon. There's 1 tablespoon of brown sugar and a ½ teaspoon of cinnamon. I'm a little tempted to put more on, but I'm gonna follow the way it says for now. So I just have a pie pan that I just sprayed with pan spray here. That's gonna be where we're gonna put the mixture after we mix it up. So all we have to do is we are going to add the molasses. And I realize I need a spatula to mix this up, so I'm gonna come back in just a moment. But I wanna make sure and get all this delicious stuff out of the measuring cup into the bowl here. Let's make sure that we get all of that in there as best we can. And I have a little story about a sweet potato pie. I love sweet potato pie. It's one of my favorite things, but so actually 2 stories. I tried to make kind of a fancy one time, and it was the worst pie I've ever made or tasted. And I spent so much time on it. So I'm not sure what happened there, but those things happen. The second story, as we put our eggs in here, is that one time we went to our neighbors, just right next to our house, for Thanksgiving when I was a kid, or I was maybe high school age or maybe a little older than that. But anyway, we went over there, and our neighbor, he bought a pie. He said it was from a lady, it was a sweet potato pie from a lady just selling them right outside the grocery store. And it is still one of the best pies I've ever tasted, and I'm still kind of chasing that flavor, see if I can finally make a pie or a sweet potato dish like that, because it was amazing. I also remember that I forgot my melted butter in the microwave, so I'm gonna grab that just a moment. We have 1 tablespoon of melted butter. I'll be right back. There you go. It turns out I had to melt it a little bit longer. So we get that. Let's get that butter mixed in. And then we're gonna add the ginger. So as you can see, this is super easy. All we have to do is mix this up a little bit. Then we're gonna get it into our greased pan. It can be any type of pan, probably about like a 9-inch pie pan is the best. And we're gonna bake this at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 45 minutes total. At the end of the first 25 minutes, we're going to sprinkle on that yummy brown sugar and cinnamon. So that looks super tasty. It's basically like, reminds me of a crustless pie, kind of like a crustless quiche. So let me get this in the oven and I will come back when we're gonna sprinkle this yummy part on there. I will see you then. This is the sweet potato pone after 25 minutes of baking. And this is when we are going to sprinkle this brown sugar cinnamon mixture. So I will come back when we are finished baking this yummy dish. Hello, we are back and our sweet potato pone has been in the oven for 45 minutes. And it sort of reminds me of a type of souffle. And I think when it cools down, it's gonna set even more, but it looks and smells amazing. It's like having a spiced candle permeating the air. So I'm gonna show you a close-up of this in a moment. And then later on, we'll do a family tasting. My son, Adam, and my husband, Paul, and I all love to try the dishes together. So let me show you a close-up of this, and then we'll be back for the tasting. So I wanted to show you kind of a closer up view of the sweet potato pone after 45 minutes. It has broken away from the sides of the pan, and it's just a lovely, lovely deep brown color. Just gorgeous, and I'm excited about that brown sugar cinnamon layer that we put on after 25 minutes. So yes, you bake it for 25 minutes at 350 degrees, and then you sprinkle on the brown sugar cinnamon mixture, and then bake it for another 20 minutes. And we're gonna let this completely cool and set before we try it. So I'll be back with you for the tasting. All right, we're gonna do a tasting of the sweet potato pone.
I've never had any type of pone before.
Me either, so never made one, never tried it.
Kind of looks like chocolate cake.
It does. Looks like kind of puddingy.
Actually, kind of looks like flan.
Oh, yeah. That's a really rich flavor. With kind of a brown sugar syrup. A little strong for you?
Yeah.
Oh, there's molasses in this.
Yeah. I think it's a strong flavor.
It's a lot of molasses, but it's actually kind of, it's almost like a dessert. Is it supposed to be dessert?
Yeah.
Oh.
This one is a dessert, yeah.
I don't know if I can finish this.
No worries, yeah. It is a little bit
Whoa.
rich and dark.
It's very like sickly sweet.
Yeah.
You're not a molasses
pretty
fan
sweet.
in my experience too.
Yeah.
Yeah, molasses can be, well, it's a very, I don't know, polarizing flavor, kind of.
But I can't help thinking, like, with whipped cream,
Oh, yeah.
this would be a very
I
nice...
think it would lighten it up a little bit, yeah.
I remember you told me in your childhood that like when you'd have oatmeal for breakfast every day, the only thing you could put on it was molasses. And ever since then, you always hated molasses. You swore you'd never have a drop again. Okay,
But
I might be dramatizing a little bit.
I'm good with like this kind of thing.
I remember going to a relative's
Or
house
cookies.
and they made pancakes, but they didn't have maple syrup. They had molasses to put on there, and it was like way too strong for me.
It is pretty strong.
Yeah, I think this is too strong for me.
Very nice.
Very interesting dish. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.